Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack is already a great example of elegant orchestration that sounds amazing without being too much. And I decided to rewrite a track from the E3 demo based on what I heard to analyze it a bit more. So let's see what I found out. It starts something like this. This epic trail of hits. And then you also have this to create atmosphere, which is a loop made of metallic sounds. And I added delay or gross beat on top of that to make it like stutter like that. Metal percussion from damage. Then you also have the cellos and double basses doing that low 8 note. Then you also have some bass trombone and French horn doing the same thing. This combo is pretty effective. And then if you couple it with everything else, it's awesome. In this second half, the French horn doing something very interesting. These are called crescendos. This sort of harmony here builds a lot of tension, and the way it resolves is thanks to the cellos and first violin. In the second repetition, do this sort of thing. So basically, after the crescendo, you have this da 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 da, and then you have do 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 in cellos. So that's great. They are going in two opposite directions, amazing way to break the tension. And then you have this. You then go to this part. What's happening here is that the brass is playing the main melody. But here it stops instead and leaves space for something else. So in this case, when the brass shuts down and starts doing those very simple notes, the violins are doing this. And what's cool about this run is that if you slow it down, that's Final Fantasy VIII, the landing. But anyway, once the melody resumes on brass, the violins are doing this. The sustained lines, very, very basic stuff. And that's a beautiful thing you see in the whole track, that you have many call and responses where it's very easy to tell what is the main instrument that is playing. So you know exactly what you should pay attention to. You have also choir and guitars being supportive to the whole track now. The percussion got a bit more crowded. So call and response between our normal percs and the metals. Cymbals, those are very important because they open up the track in this moment. Then, before this part becomes boring, we have this transition. This kind of reminds me of a Hans Zimmer track. Basses and cellos do a very basic thing. But the real protagonist is the first violin, which goes higher by 1 octave. That's a great technique to build tension. Then you also have like second violins, which are doing a harmonization here. Then below that, you also have the brass. So you see it starts basic, then it goes higher, and then it adds even an higher layer. That's a beautiful way to make something sound like it's evolving. And, once it's peaked in terms of tension. Now, what I like about the melody in this part is that, again, it doesn't bore, because before it repeats too much. Basically, we have that melody being played on bass trombone on a lower octave. The French horn is doing something different. Interesting counter melody there. And then we also have the trumpets kicking in. Then we have the choir being supportive, which is being followed by the violins, I think. And when you put all the orchestra together, everything is in its right place. And then it ends on this very interesting tutti. Amazing. And then you have this part here. So again, the bass sounds very basic. But here it does something very interesting. Let's check out what the counterpart of that. The counterpart is, the first violins. If you notice, like in this moment, they break, like they stay still for a while. And when the violin stays still, the basses and cellos get crazy. Well, so it's like the composer is telling you, hey, in this moment, you need to pay attention to the violins, which is doing crazy things. But here in this moment, the violin is going to take a break because the cellos and basses are doing something very interesting. And then in this bit, they do a tutti, like a bum, 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 bum. And that's the same for the brass. And then this other layer of French horn doing this melody. Follows the same exact principle as our strings. As for the choirs, when they play the tutti, even the percussion follows that. As for the rest of the track, it was impossible to rewrite by ear because it was full of gameplay noises. I think I'm gonna write my own version of what this could sound like in the remake, and I'm gonna publish that full version on my Alex Moukala music channel, so make sure to follow me there and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop that track there. But this track is a great example so far of an elegant orchestration because it's very simple, it doesn't do too many crazy things, but what it does it very well because of the things I explained to you today. So yeah, I hope you learned something new today, and I'm gonna see you guys with a new video maybe next week. Bye!